Hi, I'm Christina and this is a book review video on The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dalila Harris. So this is a brand new thriller published this year and it's her debut novel. It's set in the world of publishing in Manhattan and we follow the main character of Nella, who is an assistant editor, and she's also the only black employee at her company, until newcomer Hazel arrives. And initially it seems like this is going to be the start of a wonderful friendship, until Nella starts receiving threatening notes on her desk and Hazel starts to undermine her at every single opportunity. So most thrillers normally focus around a single big event, such as a murder for example, and you will not find that in this book. Instead, you just have this wonderful undercurrent of tension running throughout the book, and that gradually increases as you read the book. So the story is set across two different timelines. The main story with Nella is set in the summer of 2018, and then we also travel back in time to 1983. And the story is told through a few different perspectives, but I have to say that I do prefer Nella's perspective. And I do think that the different characters, I don't think their voices were particularly distinct. So I have to really think, who's actually talking now and how do you fit into the story? So I do think the other perspectives for me just kind of took me out of the story and just felt a little bit irrelevant. I just always wanted to get back to Nella's perspective. So for me personally, I would have rather this book was just told exclusively through Nella and we just had one perspective. So that's just something I thought I would mention too. Another thing, in terms of the themes of this book, I think I would definitely put this one in the horror genre rather than the thriller genre as it was marketed as. And that's because it just has those kind of themes for me. And I don't really think it reads as a thriller, maybe a little bit as a domestic thriller, but definitely leaning more into the horror, science fiction kind of genre, I think would be a better place to place this book. So now to talk about a few things that I didn't like very much, and it pains me to say that because I was hoping to like this book a lot more than I actually did. So the main thing was the pacing. For the first 75% of this story, not a lot really happens in the way of plot, and it's only in the last 50 pages or so that the story actually cranks up a notch and something actually happens. And so because of this, I was finding it a little bit boring throughout the majority of it. Like I said before, I did like this undercurrent of tension that ran all the way through it, but I was just hoping the pacing would pick up just a little bit more. It was a little bit too slow for my liking. And yeah, I just wanted more of the ending maybe towards the middle, if that makes any sense at all. And I will say that some of that might be my fault because I was going into this book expecting it to have very similar vibes to Luster by Raven Leilani, which I read earlier this year. And I have a book review video on that one as well, which I will link down below just in case you're interested. And I thought they would be similar in the sense that we both have a main character who is a young black woman working in the publishing industry, and it's just about their lives. So I thought it was going to be quite similar. Obviously the genres are wildly different. That's more of a contemporary romance kind of book, I suppose you would say. And I have to say that I enjoyed Luster much more. I thought the main character, Edie, was a much more engaging character. I thought the story was just better on every level for me. I enjoyed that book so much more. It had dark comedy and humour, and yeah, the main character was so much more a real person. She felt like a real person, whereas I thought in this book Nella was a little bit underwhelming at times for a main character. She was just a little bit underwhelming. And yeah, I think Edie was a much better character in that other book. So I think in my head I was comparing these two books quite a lot because it's a similar kind of idea. And I think the other book just was so much better in my opinion. So that's my 2 cents on that one. So the thing I disliked most about this book, unfortunately, was the ending. It just felt a little bit rushed to me, and I really would have liked a few more chapters to just round off that ending really, really well. Throughout the story, Nella's best friend and her boyfriend were such prominent characters, and yet they were completely absent from the story. And I just wanted a little bit more context, like, okay, this is the ending, but how do all the other characters view this? What are their opinions? What are their perspectives on this? And it just came to an end, and I wanted a little bit more, and I wanted more context ultimately about how this is. We just kind of leave it as it is with no more context at all from any of the other characters, just this is the end and that's that. So for me, that's really what changed the rating of this book. I think throughout the story, I was enjoying it, and it was going to be a 3-star read, one that I was enjoying, but nothing memorable, nothing special. And then with that ending and the disappointment around that ending, it's pushed me to lower my rating down to a 2 stars. And I think that's a shame. But yeah, overall, a bit of a disappointment. It wasn't really the book I was hoping it was going to be. So thank you so much for watching. If you've read this book, definitely let me know your thoughts. I'd love to chat to you about it. And I'd love to talk to you about the ending too. It's one that I absolutely did not predict. As I was reading this book, I definitely didn't think it was going to go that way. And I think that's because it's almost completely unpredictable. I'm not sure anyone could have guessed that, to be honest. So I do like that aspect of it. But overall, just a disappointment. And if you are going to talk about the ending, please put spoilers in brackets so we don't ruin the book for anyone. So yeah, please like the video if you liked it, and if you'd like to see any more book reviews by me, I will link some of those down below. So I'll see you in my next one. Bye!